What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Cars and Chatter. Today we have an amazing guest, a legend in the air ride world, Lorenzo. How you doing, Lorenzo?
I'm doing well, man. Thanks for having me.
Of course, and of course we can't forget Cesar. How you doing, Cesar?
How's it going, man? Glad to be back.
All right. Well, guys, also again, thank you to Straight Auto Body Shop for allowing us to use their beautiful office for this. So, thank you again, Straight Auto Body Shop. They're located in Glendale. Cesar and I have used them in the past before, so
Definitely recommend them for sure.
there you go. Well, Lorenzo, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, well, I back in the late '80s, I was doing hydraulics for mini trucks and stuff, and late '90s, I started doing air ride. So I've been pretty much in the air ride scene for 24 to 25 years doing air ride. I am originally from Virginia. We would come out here, me and my wife would come out here to visit. My fiance at the time would come out here and visit. And every time we would go back to Virginia, I would always feel like I was homesick for California. So got married and we packed our stuff and we came out here with a dream. My wife was like, people need to know who you are. So the only way to get noticed is being in California.
Got it. So, but let me ask you a question. I mean, you still have, again, you've been doing this for how long?
25 to 26 years.
26 years. I mean, Texas is kind of somewhat known in the car world and all that good stuff. So, why California?
Well, like I said, we would come out here for, TVs, videos, seeing like the whole Snoop Dogg video, the first one. I'm not sure what the song was. It was a while back, but seeing the Cadillacs hopping, and I just kind of, I used to live in, Manassas, Virginia. So the highlight of our day was going to Walmart or Target for fun or whatever. So when I came out here, I saw every light. It was just a cool car, and it just did something to me. And I'm like, I just want more from me. I need to be here. Even though I didn't know like the cost of living or whatever out here, because compared to here to there, I mean, it's
Night and day.
oh my God. Oh wow. When I left, gas was 79 cents a gallon. So yeah. So coming here is a big eye opener. I moved out here and I worked for Toyota for North Hollywood for a couple of years. And I went to a coffee company called Foodcraft, and I started building coffee machines and installing them in office buildings downtown LA. And on the weekends, I would just go to car shows, and I would just fix people's cars. I would follow them home and fix, their cars, because I'm like, who's doing all the installs out here? In the magazines and stuff in California, it's like, you're looking, it's like, man, these cars, when you open the trunk, it's like people just threw their stuff in there.
Yeah.
But they wanted the outside to be like fantastic, but the inside,
Trash.
wires everywhere, air ride, just sparks everywhere. It was pretty crazy.
Okay. Well, I mean, the way you and I came to kind of know each other was I first had my FX35, and I think Universal Air installed. I contacted Universal Air, and I think you installed the air ride on that car, if I'm not mistaken. And so yeah, I was saying, I think that's what, if I remember my memory serves me correct, that's how we met. And I had heard a lot about you, and I had seen some of your work, and even though as much as I wanted a trunk set up, I kind of needed the trunk, and they basically took out my spare and installed the entire thing in the spare area, which was kind of cool because I needed the trunk space. But you're absolutely right, because you do see a lot of setups out there that, they got a nice looking car outside, but as far as inside goes, there's nothing.
There's nothing in there. Yeah. It's just like they threw a piece of cardboard in there and put it on and just threw it in there.
Yeah.
And you see those cars, the trunks are never up. That's how you know. I'm like, okay, can we see your trunk set up? And they have this look like, no.
I mean, at the end of the day, my trunk setup is nothing crazy again because I tend to use the life out of my trunk. Most of this equipment fits in my trunk, so I mean, even though my setup is wrapped, unfortunately, because of all the equipment I've had in there, it kind of scratches it up here and there. But um, I do know exactly what you mean as far as setups go. But my question for you is, as far as cars you've worked on, what is your favorite? I know you have many favorites, but you have to have one that you've been like, okay, this is my masterpiece.
Okay. I have a couple of them.
Okay.
Okay, I can give you a five of them.
Give me your top 5.
Okay, my top five. Well, I got to work with TJ Hunt. Zach from Universal Air called me and said, do you want to go down to meet TJ and we'll work on the Supra when the Supra first came out?
Mm-hmm.
So we went down there and did it, and we did it in one day. And the crazy thing about it is that was the first time to bag a Supra for anybody because he was like one of the first people that had a Supra. So, and I never even talked about this over camera, but I broke his headlight sensor.
Nice.
100%. I broke it because I did not take the nut out and drop it. And when I dropped the arm, it broke it. So, it kind of bothered me a little bit, but we brought out the crazy glue and some other stuff and mixed it up, fixed it. But I'll never forget that.
Okay.
And sometimes when Calvin and them see me, they say, "Hey, how's the headlight sensors going on in Supras?" But that's the first thing I take off is that fucking headlight sensor, man. And it's like a little bracket that moves with the suspension to adjust the lights when you're driving. Mm-hmm. And I never said anything to anybody about that. But here I am telling you guys this thing.
Appreciate that, man. I mean, that's one of the beautiful parts about working on cars. And unfortunately, sometimes you make mistakes and you learn from your mistakes. But at the end of the day, you learn from them. That's the difference between everybody else.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because there are shops out there that keep making the same mistakes every day. And it's like, dude, when are you going to stop making the same mistake?
Yeah.
But going back to, working on your favorite cars, that was the first one?
That's the Supra. Yeah, with TJ Hunt.
Okay.
So the second one was SEMA. What I do every year for SEMA, I call it piecework.
Okay.
I do work for LTMW Long, and I got to work on my first Aventador.
Okay.
They had a wide body kit from Liberty Walk that just came out. Mm-hmm. This was last year.
Got it.
With some wild blue color from Inustech, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to Long, and he's like, "Can you help me do the Aventador?" And I was a little intimidated, but the thing about it is, once you get in those cars, man, it's like a kit car. It's like really nothing to it. It's a frame with like a V12. It's pretty much all it is. So once you find the way to run the controller wire into the car, because it's only one grommet that will get inside that car, because everything else is carbon fiber in the front. So once I figured that out, and we had to design a kit for that car. So what we did was we got some, Airlift has these bags, like builder kits, what they call it. And we actually took the fork off the OEM coilover for and then we machined it out to fit on that bag. And we installed it, and people thought we were like crazy because, I mean, that's how was it, $500,000 car?
I think it's like over 500.
Yeah, I mean, to think out of the box to do that, it's like crazy. And I'm like telling Long, I'm like, this is what you need to do. And he's like, oh man, that's a great idea. And I'm like, okay, have this machine to screw on, and if you ever want to go back, you can always just go back. But that was the second car, and that car was all over the place at SEMA when it hit, first week of November. People were all over that car. Third car, we have the only Liberty Walk 280Z out here. A buddy of mine named Oscar and Matt, they own the car. That car was pretty cool to do, 280Z. So that would be my top three. Then I got to do it's a race car called a Shelby GT, Shelby GT, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like a kit car. This gentleman came to me and was like, "Can you do air ride on?" I'm like, "Cool." I contacted the coilover company, uh, and just talked to them about measurements and stuff. So we had to make the bags to fit over the coilover setup that's on the car. So I did that. Color matched the tank. Did a nice wood floor in it, and that car was pretty cool. Pretty cool to be able to do something like that. I don't know anybody else out here who has bagged one of those.
I don't think I've ever seen one on bags before.
I don't think I've seen one either.
Yeah, I'm the only one. I think it could be somewhere in Japan or something, but I kind of feel like I'm the only one in the U.S.
And of course, with your permission, would love to get some images so we can show it to the guys if you're okay with that.
I'll send it to you immediately.
Perfect. And guys, we'll hopefully get some images and we'll post it up on the podcast. Oh, before I do forget, this is going to be the very first episode we're going to air on Apple Podcast.
Nice.
So, kind of excited about that and working on Spotify, but, we got some ways to go. We're still learning. We're experimenting here and there, but, this is kind of cool. And everybody that's listening on Apple Podcasts, make sure you guys watch it on YouTube if you want to see the pictures. And, of course, I'll have everybody's tags in the descriptions as well so you guys can follow each other. But going back to the favorite cars.
All right, number 5. Okay. The 5th favorite car. Let's see. What did I do? Tesla. I did a Model Y for a young lady. And there was an anime company that we... like Takamo or something like that we did. What we did, we took out the frunk and we wrapped it in this white material. I call it Marilyn Monroe, because it's got a lot of white in it and stuff in it. And did a custom tank with some anime stuff on it. And that was my 5th car, man. Like, it working on electric cars it's kind of scary. I'm gonna be honest with you. I mean, if you don't know what to touch, everything orange, you do not touch anything orange. But it's to me, it's more of a challenge. But I don't let stuff like that beat me. So just try it out and see what happens. That's my motto, man. Just don't be scared to work on anything.
Yeah, I do gotta say that I'm happy that it's the 5th car and not the 1st, the 2nd, 3rd, or 4th.
Okay,
because
He has a hate towards
Cesar
Tesla.
knows I hate Teslas.
With a passion.
I bagged many Model 3s. It's the same thing, Model 3 and Model Y, same chassis. So.
How many of different manufacturer parts are in there? BMW and Mercedes.
It's all American, bro.
I'm not sure on that. I'm not sure like what he used to put these cars together, but they have a waiting list for those cars, and you can. Good luck trying to even
It's
get
like
one.
a year waiting list.
Oh yeah,
I wouldn't even wait for one if it was the last car in this world. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm what they usually call me an old soul because if I'm driving home, I'm gonna be listening to Frank Sinatra and all that good stuff. But I don't see myself driving electric car. I'm gonna be like Will Smith, slap Chris Rock in the face, and drive a R8 during these robot takeovers and whatnot. But
yeah.
I'm not gonna be driving no damn Tesla.
Well, have you ever ridden in one?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. I actually drove a P90D from my house, which is actually, let's say Glendale to Oxnard for about a week straight. And on full charge, I would get there with about 70% left.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's a fast one, right? I'm not sure that model.
Well, I'm sorry, about 30% left, not 70% left. And it was...
How fast were you driving?
That's the thing. I wasn't driving fast. It was more going uphill because I used to take the 210.
And they're heavy too.
Yeah, I used to take the 210 towards the Silmar area and whatnot, and so it took up a lot of juice. But again, unless I have to, I don't see myself getting one.
Okay, all right, I understand. Now I'm gonna be honest with you. They do ride a rough stock, but when I get a hold of them, I make them run. They run really, really good.
It's all about adjusting the struts,
Right. Yeah, I know people who do coilovers on them too, and they ride way better. But I always notice they ride hard, like stiff. So what I do is I put the air ride on. I fine tune them because I build my own kits. Mm-hmm. I don't buy kits anymore. I take a coilover and I build my own kits because I tune everything to that car. But you guys ever want to ride in one with air ride? By all means, let me know.
I
It'll
want to bag
change.
mine.
It'll completely change the whole look.
You know, talking about riding, and I keep forgetting. I think I don't know if it was recent or in the past. You posted this limo that you bagged.
Okay.
Tell me about that.
Okay. Wow. That's okay. So it was a buddy of mine named Gino, and he put an ad in the paper that he wanted to put air ride on this limo. It had hydraulics on it.
Limo?
Oh yeah, limo. Like an old Cadillac. I want 79 Cadillac. Okay. So I contacted him. I said, hey, I can do air ride on it. We have a bolt up kit. I can come by and we can sit down and go over it. So when I went over there, we chatted. He gave me a deposit, and he's like, hey, my best friend is Tony Cox, the guy off of Bad Santa, the midget.
Yeah.
He was like, do you want to meet him? And I'm like, hell yeah.
I mean, who wouldn't want to meet him?
Right. So Tony came, you met me, we chatted, we hung out. So Tony used to be the bartender in that limo back in the day.
Huh.
Oh yeah. So he used to go with Gino to like parties and stuff, and they would, take people around, pick them up, whatever, and he was the bartender in there. So me and Tony had a nice little talk. Come to find out, Tony was one of the Ewoks off Star Wars.
Wait, what? Okay, that's a first. You guys heard that first over here. Just saying that.
Yeah. He said, I used to be one of the Ewoks off. He said, I was one of the Ewoks off Star Wars. The first Star Wars, 70s, right?
Yeah.
He said, I was the Ewok. And I'm like, what? He said, yeah. He said, I'll show you pictures next time I see you. I'm like,
Mind blown.
Seriously mind blown. And
Yeah.
I mean, that movie was ahead of its time when it came out. And it was like something that nobody had seen before. Nobody knew how it was done. And I mean, great movie still till this day. I'll watch it over and over
Same
again.
here. Same here. Great movie. Great movie.
Well, Cesar, do you have any questions?
I think it's cool how your top 5 is such a variety of cars.
Yeah.
It's not just like JDM, or American. It covers all areas.
Oh, I don't discriminate when it comes to air ride. If I can bag a Pinto, I'd bag a Pinto. 100%.
How about a Fiat 500?
Same here. I mean, I don't shy away from cars because to me, it's like that look of that customer. Once you give them that car and that car is aired out, that customer's it'll blow his mind. Mm-hmm. But you know what? What kind of bothers me nowadays? When the customer comes to drop a car off, they don't have that fire in their eyes anymore.
No, they don't.
Because they're doing it for the clout.
They're doing it for the clap.
The passion isn't behind it.
But this is what bothers me. It's like, well, what do you want in there? I don't know. Do it as if it was your car. I'm like, it's not my car.
Mm-hmm. Everybody's taste is completely different.
That's what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I feel bad because when I was their age, man, I mean, cars were everything to me.
Of course.
I mean, I would just sit and just watch cars going on the road. I'm like, man, that's my car. I mean, I kind of feel like when we're gone, we're gone. Mm-hmm. That's it.
I mean, it's kind of something that me and Sepan had touched bases on in the past of how people build their car, where people just slap everything on their car. There's no style to their car. It's like a new thing comes out. Okay, let me put it on the car. Let me put it on the car. It's like nothing on the car flows.
No, not at all. And they just keep on adding, and then it gets gaudy. And it's like, come on, man. I'm like,
chill a little bit.
But you don't want to say anything because you don't want to hurt the guy's feelings.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's like they're doing the same as everybody else. And it's like you go to shows and you see the same car. And it's like, do something different,
Make your car stand out.
I started doing older cars. I did an XJ6 Jag.
Okay.
And for a guy named Chris. And that's an older car. I mean, that's a 80s or 90s Jag. And that car, any show he went to, people were like, who did this? Man, who did this? Who designed the kit for this car? And with me, I like designing stuff. Like, for instance, the 400Z.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously.
Went there.
Oh, yeah. Seriously.
The 400Z. So we got invited from SEMA Garage to come check it out. We put it on the lift. We, got to dissect everything on the car. Come to find out, obviously, you guys know, it's basically a 370Z chassis.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Yeah, 370Z chassis. Okay. So I started looking at it, And I had my tape measure. I ain't gonna lie. I was like, that was the most important thing I had was a tape measure. So I'm measuring it, and I guess the people who think that kit's gonna bolt right up, they're in for some shit up front. Because the way the 370Z is, the 370Z, the body is a little slimmer inside where the shock goes. So you're gonna have to put a 2-inch bracket on it to drop the bag down so it doesn't hit the wall. I haven't told anybody that, but there's no way that's gonna bolt right up because immediately you're gonna blow the bag. Because the Z's body is a little wider inside,
Yeah.
where the arms are and stuff like that. But I'm saying that now because I definitely gonna be the first one, regardless. I am gonna be the first one to bag that car.
So let's remember that because it's going to be interesting to hear when somebody pops their first bag because of that issue.
Yep.
You know, it's gonna be like a broken story basically with everything that's going on because people will never learn from their own mistakes, and you know, Lorenzo is giving us the information right here, right now.
Right now.
Firsthand, don't do that.
Yeah.
And
Somebody's going to do it.
exactly, and unfortunately, you know, people they're gonna listen, and they're gonna forget about it.
You don't want to forget about that on that car. No.
I'm excited to see one of those on,
Oh
on
yeah.
airlift.
Well, I mean, it's going to be a couple at SEMA. You know, I was talking to 2 guys about doing pretty much 5 builds, and 3 of them are going to be Z's. So, actually 4 people, to be honest with you. But it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun.
SEMA's going to be all the Z this year.
I know it is.
Last year was all Supra. Now it's going to be all Z.
Well, last year was all C8s.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
It was the
'cause-
year before, right?
Right.
And I remember when the Qs came out, everybody just wanted to take him, and it was me and Arash, I believe, back then. Yeah,
What year?
17. Well, I didn't actually go in 17 because in 17 my car was actually getting wide body.
Okay.
I only drove that car for about 2 weeks before I started cutting it up.
Nice.
People were literally calling me crazy, and I think till this day,
They still call you crazy.
yeah, I mean,
Oh, yeah. 100%.
and till this day, I can tell you I have not driven my car consecutively for 1 year straight, and it's always been at the shop, whether you know getting some upgrades or downtime, et cetera, et cetera. But that's how it's always been,
You never really got to enjoy the car.
and that's one thing I told myself this year. I'm gonna enjoy it as much as I can before I do anything else.
Okay.
And me and Cesar have a couple of things planned. I promised him I'm gonna help him with a few things.
It's funny because I remember because your car was almost down for what, like a year the last time?
Year and a half.
I remember like you would just text me out of nowhere like, bro, I missed my car.
Yeah.
I missed my car.
Yeah.
He was so pissed off most of
Yeah.
the time. He's like, I need my car. I miss my car. And,
Yeah.
you know, it's when you're away from it, you miss it. I don't miss mine that often, to be honest. But,
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, still, you got a whole year with no car, and you're still paying that car payment. You're not enjoying it
Amen to that.
there goes the money every month.
every month, and it's like no car.
No car. No car. But Lorenzo, you know, one of the biggest questions, or not even a question, it's more of an argument. You know, a lot of people argue all the time on the forums, on the Facebook group pages, you know, bags are for grocery getters.
Okay.
What do you have to say about that?
Well, I mean, you got to pick and choose your battles.
Okay.
You know, certain people, you know, come on my messages and say certain things, but you gotta. I had to learn the hard way to sometimes when people, you know, just throw a log at you to, you know, to get the fire going, you got to know when to just walk and not say anything. Because what tends to happen is they're going to go to someone else and start messing with somebody else because you're not that guy who's going to fold. So, I mean, when they say that, it's usually these like diehard static guys.
Yeah.
I mean, they're like, you know, F-bomb bags, you know, bags are for, I really can't say that, you know, bags for bent. But those are the ones who really hate it. And I mean, these are diehard guys, but when you pull that car on the lift, if you can even get it on the lift, you see the horror stories, boy.
And we're talking about static cars.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
they're all
man.
jacked up.
Oh, man. Frames just scratched up. Like, you to a car is like a family member. You take care of it, right? By putting bags on it, you can raise and lower whenever you want to. And then the ride quality, if it's tuned right,
Yep, that's the key thing, for sure.
you can't go wrong. And then you can go to a show and air out, and the tow truck guy can't even get you. That's a plus and a minus.
You can't get repoed.
Yeah, you can't get repo. But, I mean, it just gives the whole car a completely different look.
All right, Lorenzo. So talking about, going back to bags are for grocery getters and all that good stuff. What is your experience on cars that are bagged on the canyons, on the tracks, and all that good stuff?
Well, usually there's two companies I usually deal with. Actually, three companies when it comes to coilovers. Let me add another one. I'm sorry. Airlift has a strut that's been tested. So what you can do is you can go to the track, adjust the dampening on it, and then hit the track, come off the track, and then go back to soft like nothing ever happened pretty much. So it's all about dampening adjustment when it comes to that. And I had a guy come by the shop, and he does canyon driving. What they call it, canyon carving. I'm sorry. And he says, I've been doing this for 4 years now without any problems. And he says, some of these cars can't even keep up with me on the corners because I have the air ride on it. Because that air ride, it absorbs whatever that car's doing. If it's going around the corner, it's absorbing it.
Did he have 3P or 3H?
3P.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's another question I do have as far as, air ride goes. And I hear a lot of mixed feelings. I personally have had accuair on probably 3 of my cars.
Okay.
Never really had airlift or AirTag or any of the other ones. Now, I did have airlift suspension set up on accuair management.
Okay.
And all that good stuff on my FX, but not what's it called, airlift management with their products, et cetera, et cetera. What's your take on the both?
Well, I actually had the 3P about a year and a quarter before anybody got it. Airlift had me test it. So they sent the product out to me. I couldn't say anything about it. And I put it on my van, and it was cool. I liked it. You just set it up, you press the button, and it automatically levels the car out. Mm-hmm. And when you want to air it out, you just push the button. It has 5 presets on it, so I liked it a lot, and it was just really, really cool. But the thing with that is that the unit is really smart. Like if you try to put like a different harness in it. Some people put these cheap harnesses in it. That unit knows, and it starts acting up. It's a really, really smart. It's a really, really smart unit. Like I said, that's the only thing I really sell when it comes to management. It's the Airlift 3P.
Okay. Maybe that's why Eddie's air ride is acting up, because they didn't set it up correctly.
He just hates it.
Yeah, he absolutely hates that thing.
Yeah. What kind of car is it?
Q50.
Yeah, let me take a look at it.
Hey, Eddie, if you're listening.
Because he had, what do you have?
I have the accuair.
Yeah, he had accuair on his Q60 before. Mm-hmm. And then he put airlift on his Q50 now.
Okay.
And he just always complains about it.
Oh, yeah?
Always.
Oh, wow.
It's funny because whenever we're all together and we're going to leave, we both like air up. Mm-hmm. But he always comes out and has to make sure that it actually aired up all the way. Like he just doesn't really trust it that much.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. See, the only thing with AccuAir with me is if you lose air out of the tank and it drops down to 40 PSI, the whole car starts dropping down.
Okay.
The airlift won't do that. It locks it in place. So if you lose air out of the tank, that unit will hold that air inside the suspension.
I didn't know that. I mean, that actually happened on my FX with the AccuAir. And it just, on the freeway, just dumped it all over.
Oh, yeah. I see people destroying rims. That's why I just don't touch it. I don't touch AccuAir. I don't even repair it. I won't touch it.
So what you're telling me is you want to replace my bags?
I'll replace your bag because not. Okay. But I have nothing against AccuAir. I've done a lot of installs for Universal Air. For myself, I wouldn't do it.
Got it. I mean, to me, realistically, I really don't care which system it is. the way I work, the way personally I am, if I've used the product, if I like it, I usually go back to it.
Absolutely.
Unless, something
You're
devastating.
loyal to the brand.
Yeah.
It's not even loyal to the brand. It's more of, hey, I've had it, never really had major issues. And it's kind of sad that, we see Eddie here and there, and he was always complaining. So that kind of scared me away from that system.
Oh, yeah, 100%. 100%. Because it has glitches in it. Sometimes the fuse will blow. That's why I always say people carry extra fuses.
Oh, absolutely.
Sometimes you got to unplug the unit for a couple seconds and reset it. It happens.
Yeah.
So, but you just got to know when to be prepared when something like that happens. Sometimes it'll say like a bad sensor, and all I do is unplug it for. I tell the customer just unplug it for a couple seconds, plug it in, it'll go away because it's a glitch.
Yeah.
But the cool thing about it has Bluetooth, so you can use your phone for Bluetooth and stuff like that. So now they're coming out with a new manifold.
Who is? Airlift?
Something new's coming.
Okay.
I can't really talk about it, but it's coming.
Let me ask you this question. Is there any way we can get somebody from Airlift to come out?
I can try,
Well,
but
it'd be nice to
I
hear
don't
from
want to
them.
give you 100 on that, but I will bring quite a few interesting people to you.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah,
Cool.
I got quite
Can't
a few.
wait.
Got a nice lineup.
Oh, yeah. We were talking about it off camera. Not really. I was recording.
The blooper section.
Yeah.
But, at the end of the day, this community, and the reason I do is all this stuff, especially Cars and Chatter, guys, we don't make money off of this stuff. This is all pure enjoyment. This is pure enthusiasm. And, as an enthusiast, I love doing this because at the end of the day, we love cars. That's all it is.
Yeah.
And, this is our vice in the sense of saying, this is our vice. We enjoy cars. We ride our cars. Fortunately, none of our people that I know join in on those takeovers, which I absolutely fucking hate.
Let's not even get into that, please.
But
Don't go there.
anyways, back to talking about the whole air ride system stuff. One interesting thing that I've learned about air ride is, at least personal experience, if you have your car and you drive your car all the time, try not to dump it every time you park your car.
Or at every light.
Yes.
Or every light.
I mean, I always notice when you show off, something happens.
Oh, yeah.
You're gonna be stuck at that red light.
It's funny. I won't mention his name. Very good friend of ours. You actually know him as well. But he actually just blew back because he constantly, every time he parks his car, even if it's 2 minutes, 3 minutes, he'll slam the car from what he says. Or maybe not 2-3 minutes, but you get what I'm going for with this. But at the end of the day, don't dump your car every single time. No. Honestly, I think I can probably count on both hands on how many times I've dumped my car entirely.
You could go put gas without having to air it out every single time.
Dude.
Unless you're going to take a nice picture because the lighting's cool,
I mean,
then all
just
right.
don't do it. Don't do it.
Or even if you're going to do it, don't dump it all the way. Tuck it a little bit
Right.
and call it a day.
Leave a little bit of air in it.
Yeah.
If you want to see that zero.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, you're at a car show or something, I always run my airlines outside so people hear it when you air out. I always do that. It's more of an attention thing, but, these new guys, when they get it, man, they're like gung-ho, but they're scared. Because they're like, can I drive it? Can I mess with it when I'm driving? I'm like, yeah, you're good. Just don't dump it out, or you're going to destroy your wheels or your fenders. So, but it's like once they get comfortable, I always have them on the Bluetooth first to get comfortable because the buttons.
Yeah.
Once they get comfortable with that, then they start using the control and stuff like that.
Honestly, I had accuair Bluetooth as well, but I seemed to like the control more versus to the accuair.
It's easier.
Yeah, the control on the accuair panel itself, or pad, or whatever you want to call it, to me seemed a little bit easier to use and more user friendly versus to the Bluetooth version.
Absolutely.
But
I haven't really got into working with accuair with the Bluetooth because I stopped building stuff like that because Universal Air doesn't do installs anymore.
Yeah.
So when that came out, that's when they were ending their installs because they just want to do manufacturing only.
got it.
So, but I know it just came out, some new box that accuair came out with, but I never really got into it. So,
Cesar, any questions? You have to think about it for a second.
No, I had one. Oh, because going back to, I don't know, because we kind of touched on the whole, like, when your customer gets their car for the first time. It goes back to the passion behind building the car, basically. Like those top 5 cars that you had, like, did you get that same reaction seeing it air out for the first time? Like that whole, like, whoa, like that never get the old wow factor?
And you know what? As of today, it never gets old. When they come see me, or I do like a monthly check, because I always retorque after a month.
Mm-hmm.
And when they come up and they air it out, I'm like, I still get goosebumps.
Nice.
When I see that, you know, and it's just the coolest thing ever. It never gets old with me,
Nice.
you know. And the crazy thing about it is I started bagging the brand new Siennas, like 2021, 22. I've done like 5 or 6 of them, and those things are just badass.
Oh yeah, I do like the Siennas and the Chrysler Pacificas. Those things look.
Oh yeah,
badass.
they look pretty cool. Yeah.
Imagine a Hellcat engine in the Pacifica.
I think they were supposed to be doing one, right? Or not?
There was a few, like, renders talks about it.
Right.
I had
right.
seen it.
If it's gonna go down, it's gonna be a SEMA, 100%.
Well, I'll get that minivan all day long. I don't care what anybody says.
That's just crazy.
I'll throw Caesar's T37s on it.
Make them fit.
Oh my god, you guys are wild. I mean, vans are cool. I mean, like I said, I had one myself. That van used to be bagged out, body kit, everything. I got some really cool pictures I'll show you.
Okay, cool.
Wife started scratching the rims up. I took it completely apart. She always wanted to drive it, and I'm like, damn it, why? You have a car. Why do you want to drive my van? Every time it was scratches on the rims. I was like, I'm
No more.
No more.
that van was the first airlift kit in California.
No shit.
It's on that van.
You know, one thing I gotta say about my wife though, she's had a lot of wheels and she's good at keeping them clean.
You're lucky.
Oh yeah.
Seriously.
Oh yeah.
That's rare.
Hopefully she watches this and she hears that.
Oh yeah, that's rare.
I'm gonna say
Got
this.
some brownie points.
I don't know if you've seen those videos where that one guy and his wife always make these funny videos where, you know, he's in traffic and you cut him off and goes crazy, right? Or he doesn't go crazy, and then there's a woman that drives, right? She doesn't go crazy, but she's gonna cut you back off. She's that type.
Oh yeah.
And I love that about her because she doesn't take shit from nobody.
My wife got out of the car and banged on this dude's window one day.
And she's Armenian.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
That blood.
I mean,
that blood is.
ooh, you can't mess with that, brother. You can't mess with that.
Yeah.
Be afraid.
He's afraid right now.
Oh, by the way, shout out to Taco Bell. They brought the Mexican pizza back. Thank God.
Mexican pizza, Taco Bell.
Thank God. Thank God.
Hey, Taco Bell, if you're watching this, we need some
Send
free
us a
food.
few.
You should have never taken it away. Shame on you, Taco Bell.
I
didn't even know they had a pizza.
Public service announcement.
Oh, you need to go get a Mexican pizza when you can.
Oh, done. I'm gonna do that.
Okay.
I don't know. My stomach doesn't settle too good with Taco Bell.
Oh, after, we were supposed to shoot an episode last week and it didn't go too well.
Wasn't Taco Bell's fault.
It wasn't
but-
Taco Bell's fault, no.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
TMI.
But Lorenzo, tell us a little bit more before, you know. And again, we're gonna keep it as short as possible, but we want to save more for later. We don't want to do it all in one episode because we know nobody's gonna sit down and listen to all of this for more than an hour. So
Okay, I understand. Let's see. More stuff going on this year. So I did a car for West Coast Customs.
Okay.
They contacted me for a guy, Supra, wide body Supra. So we had Liberty Walk come in with the body kit. Inus Tech come with the wrap. LD97 on the wheels. And I had another guy install the body kit. It was for a YouTuber. I know he's working with Full Send.
I love those guys.
Yeah. I have it in my phone, but I know I can't pull my phone out and say.
You could pull your phone out.
Okay, I'll tell you who he is. I don't even think he knows because obviously, you know, Steve will do it all. Have you heard of that?
Yeah, of course.
So it's his car. And it's blue.
It's blue.
It's a lot of blue. I'll show you pictures when.
I know he loves blue for sure. I've seen that
it's
guy.
blue when it has like a hint of pink in it, like pearl.
Wow.
Doesn't he have that Urus as well? That's blue, and a bunch of other cars
I'm
that are
not
blue.
sure on that because I really don't follow the guy like that. But when Alice called me, he says, "We want you to do the air ride on it." He says, "You're the super air ride king," and I'm like, "I'll come do it." You know, we had it done in a day.
Hey, Steve, if you're watching this, bro, we would love to have you on the episode. You got some amazing cars, and I've seen those in the backgrounds on his episodes, and those things are amazing.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, big time. Big
Hopefully, it's not my last car. We'll hopefully be doing Usher Ramus's Cadillac, one of his Cadillacs. Took it to another shop, and they pretty much butchered it, is what I heard. So.
Oh man, you must get those stories a lot though.
Oh yeah, I do. But I just, with me, I just stay in my lane. I don't really, I just stick with what I do and just help them out as much as I can. I do a lot of other people's work, repair. A lot of companies repair work. I didn't say no names. I don't want to put anybody out there, but if you guys are buying air ride, please do your research. Please do your research because
In all
you are
caps.
supposed to pay one time for air ride, correct?
Yes, absolutely.
One time only. And the stuff that I see come in my shop, oh my God, man. And I kind of feel bad, but I have to charge you because that's not my work.
Yeah, absolutely. Why would you have to do something for free if it's not your fault?
Absolutely. I'm not saying that we all have our issues when we're doing work. I can't say that I'm some wonder God and I could, there's not going to be any problems because I just try to eliminate as much problems as possible. Because your first time on air ride needs to be a good experience. Yeah. So I try to make it as good as possible as the work that I do. I have nobody helping me because I don't trust people's work. I have people's lives in stake, so I have to make sure that I would go back and fix something that I don't like because if something happened to any of my customers, I would be devastated.
I think that's the difference between like yourself and maybe a few shops out there that take that responsibility and look at it that way, versus here's another air ride, just slap it on, call it a day. If he has any issues, he comes back. We're gonna have to charge him a fee anyway, so make extra money buck here and there.
You can hurt somebody that way.
Exactly.
Thinking that way. And what gets me is a company will screw over one guy and miss out on 10 other bills. I don't understand it.
They're not looking at the bigger picture.
No.
I'm like, dude, this dude could bring you so much more work. Just do the job and put in what the guy pays for. If he wants chrome compressors that are this size, give him what he paid for.
Yeah.
Don't put some other weird shit in it unless you call him and say, hey, it's not out of stock. I have these. It's the same price or it's a couple dollars extra. But give him the opportunity to choose. Don't just assume.
Absolutely.
They're gonna open their trunk, but like, that's not what I paid for.
It's happened.
Yeah,
It's happened. And let's not get into that.
It's
kind of
crazy.
stuff.
It's great. Welcome to California.
And welcome to California.
I mean, there's so many shops
California.
out there, but it's true what you say. You have to do your research, ask your friends' friends. It's
And reach out to Lorenzo. I'm sure you guys have seen his Instagram already on the screen, but it'll also be in the description. And, he's here to help everybody out in the community. And there's nothing wrong with asking.
Yeah. You go to McDonald's, you order a cheeseburger, you want certain things on your cheeseburger, right?
Yeah,
I want mayo and mustard and blah, 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 all right?
absolutely.
It's the same thing, but you're just spending a lot more money, $5,000 is not cheap, bro.
No, not at all.
That's a lot of ramen noodles.
Tell me about it. That's what you can put $5,000. You can probably put like 200 students through college with ramen noodles. I'm sorry, guys.
With some spam.
With
So
spam.
don't forget about
Spam,
spam.
spam,
Throw the
spam.
spam in there as well.
crazy how expensive everything's getting right now.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Yeah, it's
And
crazy.
you can't even find baby formula anywhere right now, bro.
Is that true?
Yeah. I went to Ralph's the other day to get some formula, and the guy goes, listen, how many do you want? I go, how many do you have? He goes, I'm only allowed to give you 2 per customer, but I shop there all the time, and they know me personally. He goes, how many do you want? I go, dude, give me 6. I'll take 6. And the next day I came back, that shelf was empty. Yeah. That's sad if you can't find baby formula.
And you know what's crazy? You're probably going to find it on eBay. I'm sorry.
Dude,
On
it's
OfferUp.
on OfferUp, it's going for $60 when it's like $29 at Rouse. and people are upcharging for that kind of stuff.
Like every other car part too.
Jeez.
That's another episode.
That's another episode.
We're gonna stay out of that part today.
Yeah, we definitely need to talk about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll talk about that kind of pricing, but for automotive world.
Okay.
Let's
Yeah, let's stay on that.
Yeah,
that,
let's
that
stay
path.
on that.
Yeah.
But Lorenzo, I want to thank you for coming in on this episode, and I appreciate you, brother. I know you've always been there for me whenever I message you, ask you questions. You know, it's funny. I'll message him on Instagram. He'll call me the next second. But I appreciate you, brother.
I'll say, just call me.
Yeah,
I'm old school.
yeah. But you know, out of respect,
Thank you.
appreciate you, brother. Cesar, again, nice to have you, brother.
Thanks for having
Any
me.
last words? Oh, did you have any questions from Instagram?
I'm gonna bring my phone out.
You just dropped that Model 3 off at my shop.
I wish, man. I would love to bag it, but it's a lease.
He says at least.
Yeah. No, I mean, we touched bases on the Z, which is what somebody had asked about.
Okay.
People are very interested in the Z.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Everybody wants it. Half the people that want it aren't going to buy it. But at the
Amen
end
to
of the
that.
day, it's
And we'll save some information for the Z as the time gets closer to debut, and hopefully you can give us more information. I know
Oh,
you
yeah.
can't. You can't say a lot of stuff.
I'm going to have a lot more to say once that time comes. So we definitely have to do a 2.0. 100%.
Amen to that. All right, fellas, ladies, gentlemen, thank you very much. Lorenzo, thank you. Cesar, thank you. And again, thank you to Straight Auto Body Shop for allowing us to use their shop.
Thank you.
And thank you to Constantine for helping us with some of the equipment. You know, can't always do everything by ourselves. So we're still learning, you know, it's a learning curve. But again, thank everybody for stopping by. Make sure you subscribe, like, and share this video. And make sure you guys follow Icebox and, of course, Cesar. See you guys on the next episode.
till next time.